You know, I was talking about this issue of, as an MP, how easy or difficult it is to lobby for projects in your constituency. So, and I'm asking you this question on the back of some comments that was made by Collins Dauda, which has been, you know, looks like roundly condemned by both the NPP and some critics. May not necessarily be partisan people. He said, vote for the NDC candidate if you want development. Here you are, even in opposition, 8 years, you were able to lobby to get some projects in your constituency. I mean, is it then true that if you are an opposition MP or you are a member of parliament in opposition, it is almost impossible to lobby for projects in your constituency based on your model?
Moro, Collins Dauda is not just a senior brother. In fact, he's like a godfather to me.
Oh, okay.
He's been one of the people that have always paid attention to my, political growth and development. Okay. He is very concerned. I mean, he reaches out sometimes under very, unexpected situations and circumstances to encourage. Sometimes you are going through some difficult times and maybe he hears about it either in the constituency and he reaches out and he guides.
Right.
So I consider him one of my godfathers. And I mean, the amazing thing too is that when I went to Parliament the first time in 2017, many people thought that I was going to be put on the Communications Committee because of my background. But I was put on the Appointments Committee and on the Lands and Natural Resources Committee. I mean, lands and natural resources was quite alien to me. I had not done anything related to lands and natural resources. But fortunately, Collins Dauda was a ranking of that committee. And he took a personal interest in my, if you like, hunger to learn as a new member of the committee. And so he held my hand, took me to conferences, guided me as to how to learn about the sector. And in this country, trust me, if you even speak to the technocrats, they will tell you that when it comes to the lands and natural resources sector, Collins Dauda is a doyen. He understands that sector. And so he took personal interest in grooming me in the lands and natural resources sector when I worked under him, when he was a ranking member, and I was just a floor member of the committee. Because of his guidance, by my second term in Parliament, I became the ranking member of the committee. So I do not take for granted at all his guidance and his mentorship in that sector. Now, what he said cannot entirely be untrue.
Okay.
It can't. I mean, it is obvious that government is the biggest spender, and government is the biggest when it comes to, development interventions. Government leads. That is why we have a budget. And government decides what it spends the budget on.
Right.
And when it comes to being a member of parliament, yes, like I did, you can lobby and get development through non-governmental organizations. But their interventions can never be equal or compared in equal terms to what government can do. So it means that if you are good at lobbying non-governmental organizations, for you to achieve maximum effect, you should also be good at getting the government's attention and government's eye, catching the government eye. So if Collins Dauda says that, look, the government in power has the potential of supporting your development more, he's right. The government in power has the potential of supporting your government more. But if you choose a member of parliament who may be affiliated to the government in power, but may not have the necessary network, you may not get that full benefits of a government in power.
Okay.
That's also true.
Okay.
But if you should also know that, like they say, when the sun will always hit those who are standing before it gets those who are lying down.
Right.
So if you vote for somebody who is affiliated to the government, he has a 50 chance already of succeeding. But it will take his personal effort to make it 100.
Right.
But if you vote for somebody who is not in power, he has a zero chance of getting government attention. But if he, based on his personal effort, he can take it to 50.
Okay.
Are you getting
Right.
it? So all things being equal, it will make sense to say vote for the person with the government in power, all things being equal. But all things are never equal.
Right.
You need to understand that.
Right.
So what Colin Dauda said is not entirely untrue. And I'll give you a personal example. So in 2016, when I was campaigning to become member of parliament the first time, my party was in power. I had Honorable John Jinapo, who was the Minister of Power then.
Yes.
And I went to him to help me, connect some rural communities to the national grid. Because of my relationship with him, because of perhaps what he considered to be my standing to in the party, because not everybody will make a request and get that quick response. He prioritized it. And I listed through the district assembly at the time about 6 communities. Some were not even in my constituency, but we needed to do a full package. And as a result of that, these communities were supported with electrical materials and they got connected to the national grid. Moro, when we lost power, Honorable Amewu, when he was at the Ministry of Energy, I went to him, again because of my relationships that I leveraged, and he helped me. Even though my government was not in power and his government was in power, Honorable Amewu facilitated the extension of electricity to some communities in my constituency because I was able to leverage my position as member of parliament and also my relationship with him, even though I wasn't a member of his party. So that's why I said, when you are in opposition as a member of parliament, your opportunity to get government support is 0. But it takes your personal effort, your personal, standing and relationship to bring it to 50. But when your party is in power, you already are at 50. But with your personal effort, then you can get to 100. So Amewu supported. But guess what? Amewu supported me to a point, Moro.
Yeah.
And then Honorable Napo became energy minister.
Okay.
And when I went to Honorable Napo, in fact, I was told one morning by someone who was, facilitating this that he prompted him and he said, "Don't spoil my day. That guy, I won't help him."
What?
I'm saying this publicly. Yes. Yes, I mean, he said it. He said it to the person that don't spoil my day with that request from that guy. And this is one example. And another example, the former health minister.
Yes.
Even though he said it jovially to me.
You mean Kweku Ajimamenu?
Kweku Ajimamenu. I went to him trying to get support to get, this health thing that I told you I prioritized. So I was trying to see if I could get him to support so we can even change one of the the clinics that I had done to a district, health center or something. I mean, he jokingly told me that, I use Suhuyini, when we want to take your seat, you want me to help you do a clinic. These are facts. So you cannot entirely say that what Colin Dauda said is wrong. It's true to some extent, but because all things are not equal, a member of parliament that is in opposition, that is quite networked, that is respected, that has the grace of God, I must add, may be able to still get government support for his people and to ensure that development is carried out in his constituency. So look at the trajectory that I've given. When my government was in power with John Jinapo, it was very easy for me to get the communities networked. When Amewu came, my government wasn't in power. Due to personal relationship, he was able to support me. But just in that same government, when another minister went, it became impossible for me to get help from that same ministry because I was considered an opposition member of parliament. So it is right for Colin Dauda to say that all things being equal, you should vote for the person whose government is in power. If your focus is development, because all things being equal, government is the biggest when it comes to leading in the provision of development.
I know that your wish, I think that your wish, and perhaps the wish of all Ghanaians would be that we move away from that type of politics, isn't it?
Yes, I think that
where development must be spread across.
To be honest with you,
regardless of...
Yes, to be honest with you, I think that we are where we are because resources are limited.
Okay.
And yes, resources may always be limited. And that is why government will prioritize where it spends its little resources. And in our case, a lot of factors come to play when government is considering where to send development. And I would have wished that we had a formula. We have something of that sort, but it is not implemented to the latter. For example, when you look at the District Assembly's Common Fund formula, I mean, it is supposed to ensure that development is equitably distributed. That is why you have the assemblies getting, releases from the District Assembly's Common Fund Secretariat based on a formula. And the expectation is that these assemblies will apply these resources that they get from the District Assembly's Common Fund Secretariat to development that are considered priority at their various levels. Okay. But over the years, we centralize, these procurements and these procurements of development, we centralize it. And sometimes we even gave projects and materials to assemblies that didn't need it because we just did the procurement here in Accra and decided that every assembly should get a grader, every assembly should get a bulldozer, even if that wasn't their priority at the time. Right. But what we are doing currently, I'm sure, is to help make development equitable.